Hello, welcome to Dungeoneer'S Pack, a channel bringing you player-focused discussions and character guides for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. My name is Josh, thank you for watching. Wizards of the Coast released more test material with Unearthed Arcana revisiting subclass ideas for us to test out. This round of test material brings back the Genie Patron Warlock, the Phantom Rogue formerly known as the Revived, and the Order of the Scribes Wizard, which used to be the Archivist Artificer subclass. Out of all these potential new options, the Genie Patron Warlock got my creative juices flowing, so in today's video, I will be presenting a character build featuring the Genie Patron test material. If you want to check out the rest of the subclasses in the Unearthed Arcana article, I provided a link down below. With that said, let's get started. Build guides on this channel are built with the following in mind. I'm going to focus on levels 1 to 10 as most campaigns played are in this level range. Builds will be optimized to fulfill the concept, but also be effective for combat and roleplay. I will be covering the features in race, class, and background choices that make the build possible. A disclaimer, the subclass used in this video at the time of posting is test material. Discuss with your dungeon master prior to playing to see if Unearthed Arcana material is allowed at the table. Not all Unearthed Arcana material is balanced for table play, so please keep that in mind. The concept for this character is a lucky or unlucky halfling merchant who is forced by his Genie Patron to obtain treasure to sell on his behalf to obtain gold. The way I see this relationship between the Genie Patron and this Warlock is like a boss and an employee. This Warlock could be an overachiever, trying to please the boss angling at a promotion, or a slacker that somehow manages to just get by. For race and subrace, we're going to go with the Lightfoot Halfling. The Lightfoot Halfling gives us +2 to our dexterity and +1 to our charisma stats, a 25-foot movement speed, the ability to speak common and halfling languages, the lucky racial trait which allows us to reroll a 1 from an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw keeping the new result, the brave racial trait which gives us advantage on saving throws against being frightened, the nimble racial trait which allows us to move through spaces of any creature larger than us, and finally, the naturally stealthy racial trait that lets us hide behind a creature one size larger than us. For our class, we're going to go with the Warlock using the Genie Patron test material from Unearthed Arcana. The Genie Patron offers 2 expanded spell lists, with one of those lists changing depending on which type of genie we choose. I won't be making a choice of which genie type to choose from, I'm leaving that choice up to you. The genie types offer a bit of added spell diversity, so the choice is dependent on what role you want to play in your party. The Earth-based Dao offers a suite of utility spells as you level. The Wind-based Jinn offer a mix of crowd control and utility spells to support your team. The Fire-based Ifriti adds mostly offensive options to keep you blasting. And at last, the Water-based Merid offers a suite of crowd control spells. Choose the best option that mechanically and narratively fits for you and your table. The only effect this choice will have will be on your expanded spell list and your level 6 subclass ability. In regards to background, it is only fitting to choose the merchant variant of Guild Artisan. Mechanically, there isn't much we gain from this besides some solid social skills and the extra language choice. More on both of those choices later. Our party role as a Warlock is dependent on the class's mechanics. The class doesn't have as many spell slots or an expansive spell list in comparison to other spellcasters. So for our in-combat role, we make sure to pile on the damage with Eldritch Blast, primarily as a blaster. We do have some utility and crowd control spells that can be tossed in from time to time if we need to. For our out-of-combat role, the Warlock is solid as the party's face. The Warlock is a charisma-based class which lets us excel with charisma-based skills, allowing the class to navigate social challenges with ease. For our stats, we're going to prioritize charisma, with constitution and dexterity being 2nd and 3rd. For this build, our next choice will be wisdom, but intelligence is interchangeable. Strength will be our dump stat. When it comes to skills, I went with Arcana and Deception from the Warlock, while picking up Insight and Persuasion from the Guild Artisan background. The Arcana skill is going to help us appraise and remember lore about magic items with the intent to profit off them. Deception and Persuasion will be our tools to help bargain, sell, and manipulate potential customers, while allowing us to excel at social challenges. The last skill choice is Insight. Insight will allow this character to feel out a customer or other NPC's intentions to get a leg up when trying to swindle them. When it comes to languages, we start off with only 3 languages in this build. We start with Common and Halfling from our race and gain another language from our Guild Artisan background. For that one, I chose Primordial in order for this character to be able to speak with whichever genie boss that is decided on. Our proficiencies are straightforward when it comes to armor and weapons. We gain proficiencies in light armor and simple weapons from our class. By going with the Guild Merchant variant background, it provides a series of options for us to choose from. If you want another language to be able to speak to more customers in their native tongue, go that route. You can choose Navigator's tools to help you get your way around the world to try and get your way into the nearest market. Or, if you just want your business to be mobile, you can have a mule and cart. When it comes to equipment, it really doesn't matter. We start off with leather armor, which will only give us an armor class of 11 plus our dexterity modifier. We can start off with a simple weapon that we won't really be using because our goal in combat is to stay at range and rain Eldritch Blast on our enemies. Now let's take a look at a level by level breakdown. At level 1 we get our Genie Patron subclass and the associated abilities. We get the Genie's Vessel that can be used as a spellcasting focus. It has an armor class equal to our spell save DC and hit points equal to our Warlock level plus proficiency bonus. Also for my patron, we can use the Bottled Respite ability. As an action, we can magically vanish into our vessel that has a 20 by 20 foot dimensional space. We can remain there a number of hours equal to twice our proficiency bonus, and it recharges on a long rest. The last ability for my patron is Genie's Wrath. Once during our turn we can deal extra elemental damage with our attack equal to our proficiency bonus. As a warlock we get our spellcasting mechanic Pack Magic. It grants us a very limited number of spell slots as we level, but they can be used on any spell we know and recharge on a short rest. In regards to spell recommendations, for cantrips I suggest Eldritch Blast and Minor Illusion. For level 1 spells I suggest Armor of Agathis, Arms of Adar, Comprehend Languages, Detect Evil and Good from the Genie spell list, Fog Cloud from the Djinn spell list, and Hex. At level 2 we get the choice of 2 Eldritch Invocations. I went with Agonizing Blast and Devil's Sight. Agonizing Blast ups our damage by adding our Charisma modifier to our damage rolls for Eldritch Blast, and Devil's Sight allows us to see in magical and non-magical darkness. Devil's Sight is pretty potent because halflings do not have access to dark vision, so this shores up this weakness. Coming in at level 3 we get to choose a Pact boon. I went with Pact of the Chain to add an assistant or another employee to help our merchant on the job. Another option will be to take the Pact of the Tome if you want to add more cantrips to your spell arsenal. With Pact of the Chain you can choose any familiar, but the Imp by far is the most optimal. It has damage resistances and immunities, Devil's Sight, invisibility, and the ability to fly, making it a perfect scout for your party. In regards to second level spells, I suggest Darkness if you have Devil's Sight, Invisibility, Mirror Image, Spike Growth from the Dao spell list, and Blur from the Merid spell list. At level 4 we get to choose between a stat increase or a feat. If you can, choose the Lucky feat. Lucky is a really strong feat that will reinforce the character having a bit of luck on their side. It is totally optional as the halfling race already has a luck based racial trait. The Lucky feat is often regarded as overpowered, so if it's banned at your table, or you want to avoid any possible trouble, just go ahead and stick with raising your charisma stat. Also at level 4, we get to pick a new cantrip, and I recommend Mage Hand. At level 5 we get access to a new invocation, and I chose Voice of the Chainmaster. This invocation allows us to scout by letting us see and telepathically communicate with our familiar if we're on the same plane. Also coming in at level 5, we get access to 3rd level spells, and I suggest Counterspell, Dispel Magic, Enemies Abound, Wind Wall from the Djinn spell list, Fireball from the Ifriti spell list, and Sleet Storm from the Merid spell list. For level 6, we get the otherworldly patron feature, Elemental Gift. This gives us resistance to the damage type of our Genie Patron, and as a bonus action, we can fly with a flight speed of 30 feet for 10 minutes. We can use this ability a number of times equal to our proficiency bonus. At level 7 we get access to a new invocation, and the option is up to you, but I went with Grasp of Hadar. This invocation allows us to manipulate our enemy's battlefield positions by letting us push or pull our enemies 10 feet whenever we hit them with our Eldritch Blast. At level 7, we get access to our 4th level spells, and I recommend Banishment, Dimension Door, Stone Shape from the Dao spell list, Greater Invisibility from the Djinn spell list, and Control Water from the Merid spell list. For level 8 we get to choose between a stat increase or a feat again. If your Genie Patron is the Ifriti, pick up the Elemental Adept feat and choose Fire. Many monsters have fire resistance, so this feat will allow you to get around that. Other than that, your feat selection is wide open. If you want more languages, you can pick up Linguist. If you want to make sure you can make your Constitution save and spell concentration checks, you can pick up Resilient feat and choose Constitution. If no feat strikes your fancy, just go ahead and keep raising your Charisma until it hits 20. At level 9 we get a new invocation, and I went with Minions of Chaos. It allows us to cast Conjure Elemental using a Warlock spell slot and fits the flavor of this Warlock. Need a little extra help? You ask your Genie boss to bring in a new crew to help you get some work done. Also at level 9 we get access to the 5th level spells, and my recommendations are Far Step, Hold Monster, Creation from the Genie spell list, Wall of Stone from the Dao spell list, and Seeming from the Djinn spell list. Coming in at our last level of this build, at level 10, is our otherworldly patron feature, Sanctuary Vessel. We choose up to 5 willing creatures within 30 feet of us and draw them into our vessel with us. Anyone that stays in the vessel for 10 minutes gains the benefit of finishing a short rest, and anyone can add our proficiency bonus to the number of hit points they regain if they spend any hit dice. The latest Unearthed Arcana provides some really great subclasses that expand a player's character concepts with some awesome mechanics to support them. I'm looking forward to seeing which subclasses make the cut into the next book. My fingers are crossed hoping the Genie Patron Warlock gets officially printed. With that said, I want to hear from you. What subclass from all the recent Unearthed Arcanas do you hope makes it into the next book? Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to know when new videos are up. Alright, I'm out of here. Have a good one.